Welcome back. This week we're gonna go ahead and put in a lot of effort into the Blazer here so we can hopefully take it off-roading this weekend. Before we start here, I just wanted to give a big thanks to those of you that tune in very regularly, I would say, to my channel to watch my videos. This channel has always struggled with views and subscribers and whatnot. I don't know why, but I guess my videos isn't that good enough. But I just wanted to give a big thanks to those of you that actually tune in every day or every other day. You are the sole reason that I keep doing these videos, and reading your comments and seeing that you actually tune in means a big thing to me. So I really do appreciate it. So thank you. Anyway, this week we're gonna obviously work on the Blazer here, but also we have to look over my truck a little bit so that we can get that up and running perfectly, because it might so be that I have bought something this weekend. I haven't seen it. I have made a deposit and we need my truck to go ahead and pick up that thing. So yeah, we really need to make that thing work here today. We got some stuff from my father so that we can change out some stuff and test some stuff. We're gonna change out that hose, but we're gonna get that thing up and running here eventually. But obviously the main project here is the Blazer. And as I said, my plan is we're gonna take this off-roading. This is gonna be a off-road rig, or what you wanna call it. I do not want to smash this up to bits, but we are gonna take it off-roading. And I paid 800 bucks for this thing, and obviously I feel a bit bad about putting it through in the woods, but also all of the body panels are already rusted out. They're not really worth doing much with. So if you were to restore this thing, you would change doors, fenders, rear quarters. The only thing that's decent is the hood. So I mean, even if we smashed this to bits and wanted to restore it later, we could just change out all of that. Also, it is pretty rusty. I'm not gonna say that it is super rusty, but obviously it isn't perfect. Also, me and my son, my sons are the what can I say, the cornerstones of this project. They have been nagging me for months to work on this thing. So yeah, that's basically why we're doing this, because they want to go off-roading so bad. And my big son and I took this into the garage this weekend, and we were doing some stuff here. We tore out the whole interior. And with that said, there was some just generic home carpet on the floor. We had some sub seats in the front. We have the original rear seat, but I want my kids to be safe, so we're gonna run with these plastic buckets, and we're gonna hopefully get some 4-point harnesses or something. But we're gonna have some harnesses and so on. We're gonna build a cage for it. But going back to the rust, you can see this body is pretty bad. I mean, it has rust holes basically everywhere. This rear cross member is basically gone. It is really soft. So, I mean, in my opinion, we can't really make it any worse. And obviously, we have a big dent here. It's very rusty here. You can see the doors, not much to save. Front fender gone. So with that said, we can smash this up to bits and put new fenders, doors, new quarters on it, and it will be good again. But that's obviously not my plan. But I want to be able to use it, but I don't want to run over trees just because to dent it up. So I want it to look decent enough. So yeah, that's my reasoning or thinking about this project. But anyway, what we're gonna do with it? First off, it is running. We have started it. It seems to be running fairly good. We can do some tune up and whatnot, but it doesn't go into reverse. And I have dropped the pan, so there's no oil in it at the moment. But for some reason, it doesn't go into reverse. So we have to change the transmission. And I have a supposed to be good used 350 here that we're gonna put in. That one has a 208 transfer case, I think, but we have a 203 in the truck that we're gonna keep. I think the 203s are better. And also with that, we have the always locked hubs in the front. And we really need to find some other tires, so we're gonna see if we can do that. But yeah, change the transmission when it can go backwards and forwards. We can look through the brakes, and that's basically what you need to be able to run it on the trails. But then we can do some other improvements. The ignition lock is broken. They have taken the tumbler out the wrong way, so hopefully we can make that work. We have to fix the exhaust. We're gonna fix the tires. I have a list here in the background. There is something with the steering we have to fix. We have to fix seat belts and the seats. Yeah, so yeah, we have some stuff to do here, but we're not gonna accomplish that if I just keep on talking here. So I'm gonna change into my work clothes, and then we can start making some progress here. So I thought we might as well start with my truck here, and I know that they are going to take down some trees, my neighbors, and we're gonna hear a chainsaw here in the background. So hopefully they won't start doing that too much when we're doing this. But anyway, we're going to fix some stuff here. Obviously, we're gonna change out this heater hose that exploded last Friday. I'm not sure what the fuck happened here, but I have another hose here. This is Gates instead of the low price one that I had. So we're gonna do that, but obviously that's not gonna help us much. We have some stuff here to help us in fixing this thing. And we have a NOx sensor, and I'm not sure if this is going to do anything in this case, but this one sits on the block down there into the cooling passage, and obviously it's supposed to detect NOx from the ignition. And I'm not sure how smart these systems are, but I had a Volvo where they had put in a Volvo T5 engine into his Volvo 740, and it was my buddy. He had done all the work, but it was not running right, so he got tired of it, and I bought it for cheap. And I did so much troubleshooting on that thing until I finally realized that the NOx sensors were not tightened, so they were just screwed in by hand. So I think that the NOx sensors were rattling and giving the ECM some weird values, which made the ignition go back and forth, and that's what was doing the bad running. So I just tightened those, and then it ran fine forever. So I have some experience with NOx sensors not doing the job properly, so we're gonna try and change that. Then we also have what this is called, MAF sensor, mass airflow or something, or I mean it's manifold air pressure, I believe. And obviously if that thing is not telling the correct value to the ECM, we're getting the wrong fuel mixture. So I think we're gonna change out that one. And also I have another distributor. That distributor in the truck is 8 years old, shouldn't be any problem, but I'm not sure. So we're gonna see in what order we do this. We don't wanna do too much at one time, because then we don't know what solved our problem. But also, I am never going to sell this truck, and I want it to just work. So, I mean, it has 320,000 kilometers on the odometer. I'm not sure what that is in miles, but a fair bit, and it's obviously 36 years old. So I mean, it's time to change out some stuff, and if stuff like this is that old, maybe they start malfunctioning and giving small misreadings here and there, so might as well. So I'm gonna make an order on Rockauto just to change out basically everything around the engine, to hopefully get it to run right and get some better fuel mileage, because this thing gets like 10 miles to the gallon, and I don't think that's pretty good. So yeah, we'll see. But anyway, we're gonna start with something. I don't know right now. I went ahead and changed out our NOx sensor here. So this is the old one, and I forgot to tell you that when I removed this, there was a bunch of rust here, so I tapped it against the engine block to remove some of it, and I don't think that it should break that easily, but I don't know. So that's why I wanted to try and change it and see if it can make any difference. Also, something that I also forgot to mention is that in the weekend I checked the codes on this thing. You can in the OBD1 connector, you can take 2 pins, and the service engine the lamp will flash and tell you a code. And I got code 12 and code 43. And code 12 is a bit weird, because on some lists it says that it is a like system clear or system functioning okay code, and on some there is a ignition pulse something. what was it? I can't really remember right now, but something with the ignition pulse a trouble, and that would indicate that we have a trouble in the distributor with the pulse signal thing in here. So that's obviously not good, but also it's a bit contradictory since it tells you two different things depending on what list you check. But also we got code 43, which is a NOx sensor error, so that's partly why I wanted to change it. But also, if we have a problem in the distributor, it's sending out weird sparks, it may create a knock, and that might make our NOx sensor detect that. So one thing can lead to many different problems. So yeah, we have changed it. It is another used one, so what do I know? But we have done something at least. So the first thing I want to do now is, or the second thing rather, I want to change this so that I can fill it up with water and we can start it and see if it idles better, because it always has this, it doesn't really idle smoothly, it skips a bit sometimes. So I want to see if that goes away. Maybe we take it for a test drive, but other than that, I'm really interested in changing this thing, and maybe that will help our fuel economy if it is telling the wrong manifold air pressure, and that will somehow make the injectors push more fuel in or something. The injectors are a year old, so there shouldn't be any problem with those, and I mean it has always guzzled fuel, so it would be nice to get on top of that. But yeah, I'm gonna fix that hose, fill it up with water, and see if it runs a bit smoother. So I went ahead and changed that hose. I filled it up with water. So we're back to square one basically with the new NOx sensor. And then if we're looking back here, we have a bit of smoke, and also we can hear that it misses sometimes. There, hear it, there, bunch of them. And also you can see that we're dripping water out of the exhaust. But I mean, it could be condensation, but with the old engine, it never smoked more than this, and it only smoked sometimes. So I'm not sure why is it smoking right now. Do we have a bunch of condensation in the exhaust? So I'm not really sure what the hell that is. I mean, we have changed the whole engine. It shouldn't be pulling water into the exhaust, but I don't know. But my plan right now is that there's one thing I want to do. If this has had a lot of water, and if you check my exhaust, you can see my mufflers there. They're Flowmasters hanging like that, and if there were water in my exhaust, it would collect there. And I'm not sure if these could be full of water, but I want to try and drill a hole in one of these, and I mean I can just weld it later, see if it comes out water. But other than that, I'm just gonna go ahead and change out the manifold air pressure sensor, because it's 2 seconds to do that. See if it makes any difference. If not, I'm gonna go ahead and change out the distributor. I drilled a small hole here, but there was no water coming out, so that theory didn't hold. So I really don't like the smoke coming out of the tailpipe, but yeah, I don't know. But we're gonna try and change the map sensor, see if that does anything, or if I have to do something else. I plugged in this map sensor, so it is running from that right now. And first I thought it was a little bit better, but then it started to sputter again, and it is dripping so much water here. And I mean, can this really be condensation? We had a lot of rain this weekend, so I'm not sure, but I mean, if that's water from the engine, how is that possible? We changed out the whole freaking engine. What could make the water come from the radiator into the exhaust? I don't understand. I really don't. So yeah, this is beyond me. But I'm gonna go ahead, turn it off, and we're gonna look at the distributor a bit. I went ahead and changed out the whole distributor with everything in it, and as you can hear, it is running of course, but it's still sputtering sometimes. But I've checked over this trouble code 12, and as I understand it, it's just interpreted in different ways depending on where you read it, because it's supposed to be the RPM signal to the ECM, and obviously when you're turning on the ignition you don't have a signal because the engine isn't running, but it's also telling you that it can read it, but it there is no reading, which means that the ECM finds the distributor or whatnot. So I don't think that we have a problem there, but as I say, it's still sputtering sometimes at idle. It's still dripping a lot of water, which I don't like, but I don't know what to do right now. There's not much more to change on this thing. As I said, we have the injectors, we've gone through the whole ignition system. I gotta say, my spark plug wires isn't fantastic, but also, I mean, if there was a spark plug wire, I think it should be bad all the time, not coming and going, but I am going to buy new ones. Also, we could change this thing, which I don't know what it is. We could change the TPS, but I'm not sure if that would help. But anyway, for now, I'm just gonna take it on a test drive, see if it runs good enough so we can use it tomorrow, or if we have to do more troubleshooting. I'm out here driving a truck, and I thought I might as well give it a try first and then get back to you. And it seems to be running just fine. Nothing special. It's not like we have added 30 horsepower now that we have good piston rings and better valve seals and whatnot, but it is running as it should, I guess. And for me, that is good enough. I didn't expect anything more out of this engine. I would like to get away that stumble at idle, but I'm gonna go ahead, order off some stuff, and we can go ahead and change them when I got them. So for now, it works. I'm gonna go ahead and use it. I feel that I can take it tomorrow, go ahead and pick up my new vehicle, and just in general use the truck again, which as I said, is what we wanted to achieve. So with that said, if nothing else happens, I'm just gonna go ahead, drive home here, and then we can start working on the Blazer, which I'm more looking forward to. We're home here again. Truck seems to be running fine, so I really hope that it keeps on doing that. So at the moment, we have 2 working vehicles, the Oldsmobile and my truck. So I'm really happy with that. But maybe we can get a 3rd one running that we can use. I don't think I'm gonna be using this on the road all that much. I am saying that it's gonna be a trail rig, off-road rig, whatever. But I really think it's super boring when you can't use a car on the streets, and that's how I enjoy them the most. So even though I want this to be an off-road vehicle, I am probably gonna end up making it street legal-ish, so that I can go pick up the kids, I can take it on some cruises and whatnot. I want to be able to enjoy it in more ways than just in the woods. But that's down the line. Obviously, we need to have it working first. So we're gonna start under here with our transmission. We have a Turbo 350, same as we have over there. And behind that, we have an NP203, which is a cast iron transfer case. There we have an aluminum transfer case. And I think this is better. When I say I think, that's really think. I don't know much about this. But I believe these are pretty stout, but I don't think that they have a very low range gear. But it's going to be perfectly fine for what we want to do right now. So just gonna start undoing bolts. I think that I'm going to take this down separate, because I think that it will be a lot easier, even though this is gonna be really heavy, but we're gonna manage somehow. So yeah, just start losing bolts and nuts until everything falls to the ground, and then we can do it in reverse. I've done a fair bit of wrenching here, and unfortunately I think that we have come up with a problem that it's absolutely solvable, but it's solvable until this weekend. I don't know. I have loosened the transfer case. I have it hanging into ratchet straps because hopefully it can just hang there while we remove the transmission. But it has such a strange shape that would be hard to get the jack to get it to stay on the jack. But for now it can hang there, and I have gotten them separated here, and you can see here we have our output shaft, and there the input shaft for the transfer case. And you can see the output shaft ends here at this adapter, and I also realized that this adapter is very thin, And if we go over here and look at our other combination, we can see that this adapter is a fair bit longer. I mean, the other one is basically is this flange and the other one is this. So I think after some logical thinking and also some research that this thing is going to have a way longer output shaft that obviously isn't going to work with our 203 transfer case. So now we have a bunch of problems and solutions. We're gonna take this apart just to make sure, but I'm really certain that this is the way it is. And you can change the output shaft, but I'm no transmission guy, but I know some stuff. And from what I know, the first thing you put in when you build a transmission is the output shaft, which tells us that we have to tear both of these transmissions back to basic, remove everything just to change the output shafts and put everything back in. I don't have the experience with that, and I don't have the parts. And also we could restore the transmission that we have and fix that, but I don't have experience or parts for that either. So alternative number 3 is getting another transmission with the right output shaft that hopefully works. I don't know which route to go here really. So yeah, we have to think about this a bit, but I want to just make sure that we have the wrong stuff. So I'm going to take this apart, check it, and then we can take it from there. So I split these two apart, and as you can see, this has a lot longer output shaft. The other one was basically ending here, and this is going way into the transfer case. So unfortunately, that's not going to work. So now we're at the point we have this transmission, which may be working, but it won't work in our truck, at least not with the transfer case that I want to use. And we could use that transfer case, but it's going to be a lot of problems making drive shafts and whatnot. We have a transmission in the truck, which obviously everything fits, but it doesn't work in reverse. And I actually had to go back to my older videos and see what the hell I was doing last when I was working on this, because it was like March or April or something. But anyway, I started it, I tried putting it in reverse, and the drive shaft was actually on the truck but not connected to the rear axle. So I could see it spinning like a quarter of a turn or something. Then I put it into drive and it was spinning like crazy. Then I removed the drive shaft so I can't really see anything more. So I mean, there's always some friction in the transmission, even if you have burnt everything in it. So I mean, it's turning like this without any sort of force to it. I can understand that, but obviously it went fine in forward, so I'm not sure. But just to freshen up my memory, I'm gonna remove the oil pan on the trans, look over it, see if I can find anything. I don't think so. I'm gonna do some googling and watch some YouTube videos of why the reverse disappears. But at the moment, I think that the only reasonable thing to do if we want to drive this weekend is to get another transmission with the right output shaft that is going to work. So yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna have to think about it. But remove the pan just to see. I removed the pan, and it's basically what I remembered. Everything looks good here. The nut in here can come loose, so this won't turn properly when you're shifting, but it's in place. And this S bracket connector here can also fall out of place, and that can also cause issues. But unfortunately, everything seems to be in place, and I can't find anything wrong. I did some research, and I can't find any other easy problem that can happen to a Turbo 350 that would cause the reverse to go away. So I'm guessing it's just messed up. We can't do much about it. So this transmission needs to come down and be gone through, or have another transmission put in it. I called a guy I know that does transmissions, but he didn't pick up. So we'll see if he calls back later today. Maybe he can fix the transmission, but other than that, we need to find another transmission. Or I mean, we could go with the other one we have, but then we have to fix new drive shafts, only to, in my opinion, at least in this case, change to a lesser transfer case that is worse. Probably better if you want to drive on the road with it, but for off-road use, I would consider the 203 to be better. I would like to have a 205, but I don't have that, unfortunately. So we're gonna see if we can, whatever we can find. If I found a 205, I think that the drive shafts would work, but for that I could redo the drive shafts, but I don't want to redo them for 208. So yeah, we have to do some thinking here of what is the easiest route to go. So yeah, I'm gonna think about that, but other than that, for now we're stuck, so I'm gonna see if we can do some other progress here today. So I thought we might as well do the next, or at least start with the next thing that is one of the two important things, and that is the brakes. But just one quick thing about the transmission. I called the guy that I bought that transmission from, not to complain. I mean, I didn't know it, he didn't know it. I mean, who cares? It's just sometimes you miss out or whatever. But I wanted to ask him if he got any other transmissions, because he has a bunch of K5s. So he actually has a truck car that I sold to him, and I know it's a mismatch of parts, this truck, but I know that I at least drove it forward and rearward. But I also remember there was something weird about the transmission. Either there was a weird combination between the transmission and the transfer case, or it was a combination that shouldn't have been in a Blazer, but also there was the wrong engine and whatnot. So I don't remember, but I have another friend going over to his place, hopefully, to check what transmission is in that thing, and then we can see if it's something that we want, and then I can make some sort of deal with him, probably to buy the whole truck without the engine is what we talked about, but we'll see. But for now, that's where we're at. So I thought we might as well look over the brakes. I removed the cover here. We have some fluid in the front reservoir, but nothing in the back. So I'm gonna fill that up. I'm gonna put the truck up on jack stands and start pumping the brakes and see what happens and what doesn't happen, and just take it from there. Blazer is up on jack stands. I removed the wheels, I removed the calipers and the drums. So we're gonna look through this, but I mean, the whole braking system is completely, we have the calipers and we have everything behind here. The rear wheels actually turned really easily, but it was the fronts, obviously, as this always is, that had been stuck. So we're gonna see if we start pumping, if we can get the pistons to move, then we can lubricate them and make them work. I don't think that will be an issue, but we'll see. Obviously, the rear reservoir is empty. We're gonna see what happens. So I'm just gonna fill it up, start pumping, see where it leaks, see what moves, see what doesn't, and take it from there. I went ahead, filled up the master cylinder, and started pumping, and I saw directly in the rear portion of the master cylinder, I could see it when you're pushing the pedal, it flows up. So I hope that the level was just low, or I mean low in the cylinder where you couldn't see it. But I haven't really seen anything with the rear brakes yet. But the front pistons started to move, and obviously one moves easier than the other, and that's where all the fluid goes. So this one came out. So I'm gonna go ahead, clean this. It's very, very dirty. Clean out here best as I can. Push the cylinder back in, and hopefully we can get it to move smoothly, and then we can put this together on this side. Then we can, so this has something to brake against, then we can push that one out and fix that one. And when we have the front brakes, we can start looking at the rear brakes. Piston clean with some wire wheel, and the caliper is clean. I took some sulfuric acid and just went around with some toothbrush and rinsed it clean, and I think this is gonna be clean enough. So I'm just gonna take some lubrication and put it in. Also, I removed this dust seal. Sometimes I just cut off the skirt, and sometimes I remove the whole thing. I mean, obviously it hasn't really done its work, so who cares? It's gonna function just as good. And we might change calipers. Rotors is not looking that good. Pads looking like crap, but for the purpose of just driving this weekend, this is gonna be just fine. So keep it simple. So we're gonna try and put this together, and it should work. We have everything back together, and I didn't lose the bleeder. I just took the caliper, made the hose the highest point, and pushed the brakes, bled it, and then I put the caliper on where it's supposed to be. Something I'm a bit worried about is you can see that the brake line is a bit stretched. We have these blocks that you're not supposed to have on the front axle, doesn't really matter when we're gonna drive in the woods, but it's a common idea, or how can I put it? But yeah, you're not supposed to have them, because the idea is that when you brake, you get leverage and you're twisting you get more leverage on the bolts, twisting them off, and you're losing the front axle basically. I have never heard of it, but I've heard that people talk about it. So we're gonna change the leaf springs here in the future. But anyway, as I said, we have it together. We'll see if we have to redo the brake line later on, because I'm worried when we get a big drop that we're gonna pull this out. So yeah, everything on. So this should work right now. And if we do like this, I have put a piece of wood on the brake pedal so that we have some brake pressure right now. And you can see that it is braking. And if we go over here, also I have brake pressure right now, which I think is because the left caliper is still stuck, so that we're building a pressure against that. I believe if we push the pedal a bit harder, we're gonna loosen that caliper so we can get that apart. But if we go over here now to the front right, we can turn it. So the brakes, or at least the brake, works. So that's great. So we basically have to do the same thing to the other side. And as I said, if we push the pedal hard enough, I think that we are overcome that piston so that we can get it out, clean it, and do it, everything that we have done here. Then we will have front brakes, and then we can go ahead and check the backs and see if we can get those working also. But that's unfortunately all that I will be able to do here for today. I'm a bit torn about how we're gonna solve the transmission issues, but also now we're doing other stuff that we have to do. So we're basically not losing any time right now. I'm gonna see if I can find a transmission. Worst case, we will put that up with the 208 and just solve the problems. But I would like to avoid that if possible. But I have said to my kids that my plan is we're gonna take this off-roading this Saturday. And I know that they will be very disappointed if we're not gonna achieve that. So I'm gonna do whatever is in my power to make this work. So we'll see how we solve everything. But I mean, we have made some solid progress. We have at least found the problem with the transmission, or the transmission issue we have. We have started fixing with the brakes. So yeah, we're on our way. So we'll see if we will accomplish this. But anyway, that will be all here for today. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and I will be back to you tomorrow.